Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Breaking Points, giving you motorsports coverage beyond the checkered flag, and this podcast specifically, just NASCAR coverage beyond the checkered flag. And today we are joined by the one and only driver of the number 17 for Hendrick Motorsports in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, Corey Day. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
Doing good. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So I think we're just going to kick it off with what are you most excited for this year? Like, this is your first full-time season in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. You had a part-time series last year. So what are you looking forward to this time with a full-time schedule?
Yeah, I think I'm just excited to like do something full time. Last year I ran trucks, Xfinity, ARCA, sprint car stuff, Trans Am stuff. I didn't really have too much I guess like repetition week after week. So I'm excited for that this year. I'm excited to work with the team too. I think we got a really great team this year and yeah, I think it's just gonna be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Let's send it over to Sean next.
All right. So in NASCAR, generally speaking, there's notably Larson, Bell. They came from more of a dirt racing background. When you started taking your talents to asphalt racing and specifically big oval racing, did their mentorship or experience guide you in any way?
Yeah, Kyle's helped a lot for sure. He just yeah, they can kind of, put stuff in terms to where I would understand it more. Whereas, some of these pavement guys, talk about their feedback with the car differently and just kind of explain stuff in a way that I've really never heard it. I've talked about, and Kyle can kind of, I'm not gonna say dumb it down, but he can kind of, dumb it down for me to where I can, understand it in a different way. So, that's been super helpful. And then, yeah, Bell and Chase at Briscoe have been, pretty helpful too. I'd say those are the three guys that kind of understand it in a way that I do. So, yeah, they've all been helpful. Kyle mainly is who I, lean on, and yeah, he does a really good job.
So obviously last year, in what was formerly Xfinity, now O'Reilly's, you were racing a part-time schedule with Hendrick, and now you're going into a full-time schedule. Um, but just going into the past, how did the relationship with Hendrick Motorsports begin, and how has it get to this point where you guys are um doing a full full-time schedule together?
Yeah, I kind of started off, late 2023, early 2024. Just talks about doing some stuff here and there. And then we put together I did a late model race with Junior Motorsports early in 2024. Um, that went really well, so they kind of, decided that I'd just go straight to, the NASCAR stuff, not run really any late model stuff or anything um like that, which, I was happy about, of course. So yeah, I ran some truck races and ARCA races at the end of 2024 and um, then actually that was all under like they call it a letter of intent. So it's not really a contract, but it's just basically saying that, I can't go drive for anyone else. So um yeah, I did that, and then at the end of 2024, yeah, I signed my 2-year deal to, do what I did last year, and then um, this was an option for this year. If last year went well to pick this up, and yeah, glad it went well enough to do that.
Awesome. And kind of switching gears a little bit, um, everybody knows that the season is long. What is something that you do to like prepare mentally, especially during long weekends, tough stretches, like all the races in a row?
I don't really have anything specific. I think it's all, super dependent on the week and what track you're going to. For me, if I have a sprint car race during the middle of the week or not, kind of changes some things how I prepare and um yeah, I don't really know. I think just stay focused. It's like last week I struggled because or last year I struggled because I couldn't have like week to week. repetition of, stuff isn't the exact same every week, but at least your like schedule throughout the week can be the same, and you can kind of try and prepare as close to how you did the week before, I guess. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think just doing the same thing or as close to the same thing every week, as long as it's working, is best for me. Just and then yeah, not overthinking it. I think I come from sprint car racing where we don't really like it's not a corporate sport per se. We don't have meetings throughout the week and other commitments. We just kind of, work in the shop all week and then go and race on the weekends. So that part of it's been different for me to kind of learn all the commitments and responsibilities throughout the week that come with NASCAR. Um, but yeah, overall, I think I've, started to like it, started to like kind of having, my mind has always been on racing, all the time throughout the week or on the weekend. But, I feel like now it is especially, um, on my mind all week long. So I think that's a help.
And bouncing off the mental side of racing as well, with entering NASCAR full time, that also means a larger set of eyes that will be on your career and thus on social media, where not just you, but I think all athletes face a litany of criticism. As a driver, I've always been curious just how you push that to the side, on a not only like on track, but also off the track.
Yeah, I mean, you that one's a tough question. I think everyone handles it differently. Um, for me, I used to be very like emotionally driven in this sport, and I think, for but for me, that didn't really work. Like I would find myself, super happy when I won or things went really good, and then I would find myself, like really, really down in the dumps when stuff didn't go well. And I guess like looking online would kind of make that better or worse per se. Um, so now I kind of just try and not look at it at all, um, and just do my own thing. At the end of the day, it's my job and my career, and I've also, come to realize that God has a plan for everything. So if stuff's not going good, then it's his plan. So I've just, I think I've found peace with that. And yeah, I think that's my best way of blocking out all the noise.
Looking ahead to the 2026 season, what kind of goals do you have for yourself and for the team in general?
I think make the chase would be the biggest one for sure. It's a different format than I think a lot of these guys have ran. Maybe all guys ran the chase format, and I don't really know who else would have. So I like that. I like that it'll be new for me as well as everybody else. And um, yeah, I just think, for me, I like the chase format better than the playoff format. Um, so yeah, I'm hoping that, we make the chase, and I'd love to win a race, of course. That's what drives me is winning. So I wanna yeah, win a race for sure. And yeah, I think just make the chase and have a good chase too. Don't get complacent once we get there. Just, if we make the chase, then you definitely got a shot at it. So um yeah, it'd be my biggest one, and I know the team is well capable of that.
Nice. And fellow Chase enjoyer, I love to see it. What race are you looking forward to the most this season or specifically within the Chase championship format?
Yeah, I'm excited to get back to Chicagoland. That's kind of one I've always, like I watched Larson and Kyle Busch's race there, multiple times. I feel like he comes up on my social media all the time, and it's just such a cool track. Yeah, I'm super excited to get there. I feel like it'll suit my style pretty well. Um, and then also Homestead. I liked Homestead a lot when I was able to run a truck there, and I think an Xfinity or a O'Reilly Series car will be even more fun there. So um, yeah, I'm excited for that one. I like the mile and a half stuff better than I like, the short track stuff or the um, road course stuff or anything else. So um, I guess on the other side of that, I am excited for Watkins Glen too. I feel like that's a pretty, legendary road course in our on our calendar, and yeah, it'll be super fun to get to run that one.
Yeah, and I think piggybacking off of that one, you brought up Watkins Glen. I think point of contention for a lot of drivers is whether they like road courses or ovals more. So, which would you say is your favorite and why?
Yeah, I'm an oval guy for sure. I mean, that's what I've grown up doing is, on dirt, but it's still an oval. So, yeah, I'm definitely way out of my comfort zone on a road course. I'm not used to turning right yet. But they are a lot of fun. I do enjoy them. It's just like I said, I'm way out of my comfort zone and learning every time I'm on the track. So I enjoy that. But yeah, if I had to pick, I'm definitely an oval guy.
Um, your father, Ronnie Day, he raced a lot in sprint cars, even going back to the 1980s, 1990s, and even raced in the Chili Bowl in early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. In what ways has your father really inspired you on your racing career, in from the broader spectrum of a full season to specifically how you approach each race or even certain moments in those races?
Yeah, I grew up going to the track with my dad when I was a young kid. He was, at the end of his career, but he still raced every weekend. So yeah, I just, I wanted to be dad for sure, as I think every kid, every kid that, their dad raced, they want to be just like dad. So um yeah, he inspired me to race for sure. Without him doing it, I don't think I would have. And then yeah, just he was my coach and my dad and my crew chief and everything there for my first probably five or 6 years of racing. So yeah, he's been a huge part of my career. Um, like you talked about, he raced in the 80s and the 90s, and he's done it for a really long time. So he has a lot of knowledge about this sport, and yeah, I'm super grateful to have a dad like him that knows so much about it.
All right. And since we're looking back at your early racing days, kind of, do you have like a specific defining moment that made you think NASCAR is what I want and I can reach it?
Um, I really don't, to be honest with you. I've talked about it a few times, but I just think, there in my sprint car career, like when I was doing that full time, I didn't really think NASCAR was possible. We don't, my family had enough money to go sprint car racing, but we didn't have enough money to go NASCAR racing. And, I kind of understood the how money worked in this sport and, I guess the concept of money at a young age. My parents owned a trucking company and, my mom runs all the books for that. So I kind of, got a lesson on that when I was like 14 years old and understood it all. And, um, ever since then, I just kind of ruled it out because I knew it wasn't possible. So, um, I don't think I had a defining moment in my like driving career. But I guess, that moment would be when Jeff Gordon texts my dad and was wondering if I wanted to do any stock car race, and that would probably be the best one.
And going back through your ARCA trucks, O'Reilly starts the past 2 years, was there a specific race or weekend where it felt like everything clicked for you on ovals for the first time?
Yeah, I think probably Vegas at the end of last year. I had kind of felt, good about things before then, but hadn't really full race together. And I'd say that's actually, on another note, that's a super tough part about this sport is you know, you can feel like you had a great weekend and you learned a lot and everything went really good. And, everyone can look at the paper and look at the results and be like, oh, yeah, it was a bad weekend. You ran 13th or whatever. I think that's a super tough part about it. Just, result. no matter how much you learn or um, how good it went, it's always hard to, argue the results. So, um, yeah, but I think Vegas was it. Vegas is the time I put it all together finally. Like I said, I had good runs and good races, but yeah, that was one I finished off. So yeah, that was it.
Outside of racing, is there something you think that fans might be surprised to learn about you that you do in your free time, or just something that's might be different about you?
No, I don't know what fans would think I do in my free time to say what is or what they would think is different. I mean, I'm a normal 20-year-old kid, really. I mean, I play video games and hang out with my friends and watch TV and YouTube just like any other 20-year-old kid would. I'm nothing special outside of the racetrack. So, yeah, I know. I think they would probably think that, I grew up racing dirt bikes, so I guess maybe that would be different. Like I still from time to time. Um, yeah, but other than that, I'm pretty normal. So maybe they think that's weird that I'm normal. I'm not sure.
All right. So now we're gonna get into some fun questions. You mentioned that you play video games. This is a two-parter. Have you played the NASCAR 25 game?
I actually don't have like Xbox or anything. I only have a computer. Um, so I play iRace, but I haven't played the NASCAR game, no.
Yeah.
PC is superior though. I will stand on that hill though.
It
Go ahead,
is.
Sean. I won't cut you off.
No, it's all right. I wish I had a PC. It is superior, but I digress. So if you could choose your number, as a driver, what would you choose?
Yeah, I think yeah, when I was growing up racing dirt bikes, my dad always, he was like, "What number do you want to be?" And it was a long discussion between us because I really didn't know. I was like 5 years old, so I had really no idea. Um, but then yeah, he told me the story about his buddy he grew up, was really good friends with. His first national number was 41. And he unfortunately passed away in a house fire when they were in their 20s. So his name was Ricky Graham, and that was, I was like, yeah, I want to, carry that on. So ever since I was young, that was my number, and I raced that up until the second year of my sprint car career, and then raced for Jason Myers and was number 14. So yeah, I think if I had to choose one, I'd be 41 for sure.
On race day, is there any specific things you do like right before a race that gets you into the zone where you're ready for racing?
Um, no, I don't really think there's like a certain thing that I do. Kind of when I just get in the car and put my helmet on, that kind of gets me, um, in the zone and in the headspace I need to be in. Other than that, it's really, um, yeah, you're meeting fans and talking to the team, and you're always, I guess, in the zone when you're at the racetrack. Um, but yeah, kind of putting my helmet on is what kind of turns the switch for me.
All right. If you could add any racetrack to the schedule anywhere in the world, no limits, where would you go and why?
Oh man, that's that's a good one. I'd love to add Eldora back on the schedule. Um, and but more than trucks, run, the whole entire three series there. I think that'd be super cool. I'm a dirt guy, of course, so I'd probably say a dirt track. Um, but yeah, I think that'd be cool. It'd be a lot of fun. I wish I could have got to do that.
Yeah, and in your opinion, on the current schedule, what would you say the most, I guess, underrated track is? The one that's like just not as appreciated as it should be.
Um, I don't really know, like, from a fan or, like an analyst. I don't know what you guys would title yourself, but I don't know what you guys would like underappreciate or appreciate. So that's a tough question. Um, I don't know. I don't know if Sonoma is as appreciated as it should be. I think for me, I mean, I'm a California guy, so I'm going to be biased on that one. But I did get to run a lot of road courses this year, running Trans Am stuff. And Sonoma definitely ranked highest on that list for me. So, I think the track's awesome. It's obviously beautiful. You're in wine country in California. So yeah, I think that one's, just a super cool event. And yeah, the track's awesome.
Last but not least, we're gonna ask about your um, what would be your walkout song if you were a boxer or something like that?
Ah, man, I don't know. Um, Yeah, that'd be a tough one. I do pay attention a little bit to boxing. I do enjoy that. I think it's just super raw and those guys are, obviously badass. So it's super cool to watch. Um Sean O'Malley walked out to I think it's called Superstar. Um about I think it was like a year ago or something. And that was super cool. I like that. So that'd probably be mine. I'd copy him on that one.
Awesome. And then if you also had one just random song that always plays, what is it? Whether it's in the gym or when you're getting ready for a race, what's that one song that always hypes you up?
Um I don't know. I don't really have one that does it for me.
You
I
can
kind
say
of just hit
multiple.
shuffle on my playlist and whatever plays, plays. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could give you just one. Maybe I like all types of music though. It's not just one song will hype me up on one day and then another will hype me up on another day. It just depends on my mood. Um, I think Latch by Disclosure and Sam Smith is one of my all-time favorites. So if I had to give you one, that'd be the one.
That's a good choice actually.
Yeah.
Well, yay. Do you have any questions you want to throw back onto us?
No, no, I'm not usually the one that asks questions, so I'm not prepared for that. But
That's why we're giving you the opportunity to if you want to.
yeah, no, I don't know. I don't really have anything. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Right.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Gabe, it's your turn to do the outro. Ha ha ha.
And I have to do it live.
Yep, you got
Uh,
to do it live.
well, thank you, people, for listening to our conversation with Corey Day. Thank you, Corey, for joining us today on the pod.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you guys for having me. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but yeah, it was fun.
Anyways, we'll see you on the next one. Take it away.